What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of The Good Faith Show. I'm your host, Andre Morton, and The Good Faith Show is only exclusively on the ATP Network. You can catch the ATP Network on YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, and Twitter. And I have some shameless plugs for you guys. Um, on the bottom of your screen, be sure to follow the official ATP Network Twitter account. The handle right there is at ATP Network 247. And also to like the video. It's free and don't cost you a thing. When you like it, you support the channel and you help us get the word out. So and also to go to GazaFunds.com. Y'all know what's going on in Gaza. I don't have to repeat myself, but help out the Palestinians any way you can. So go to GazaFunds.com, guys. Like, we need more people to help out. Like, there's only a few I see that does this, and kudos to them. Um, I mean, if you questioning GazaFunds.com, it's verified. It's real Palestinian campaigns. It's not, no scam or nothing. So GazaFunds.com. After you get done watching this stream, go there and help out. So, um, and you know what, guys? Before I start, man, um, I don't act. Y'all know I don't ask for no money. I don't ask for no. I don't have my Cash App on here. I don't need it. Like, I enjoy doing this shit. Like, seriously. This shit is my therapy. I hopefully in the future, we'll have more collaborators and, everybody be back on board. But right now, you're gonna be seeing me for a little bit. That's all I'm gonna say right there. But just wanna let y'all know. So y'all start seeing more voices instead of seeing my ugly ass on here all the time. So anyway, usually I play a video before I start talking, but this one is kind of long, and it gives me a good perspective on things. This is why I like platforms like TikTok, because there's so many people that are capable of speaking truth to power. I mean, not capable. They are speaking truth to power. It's just that, um, TikTok, they aren't as hawkish with the algorithm as Facebook is. So yeah, let me play this video right here. Then I'm gonna get my thoughts on it.
Never be free because they don't want to be free. And the ones that want to be free don't know how to be free was a phrase my mother beat into our heads since we were children. And up until I started my own organizing and political activism work, I thought she was bugging. But moms are right. A few months ago, when the 92% were sending this one out, we did our part. Don't let them cajole you outside, as if the dominant cultural group with a shitload of power needs to cajole you to do anything. They can just make you do it, as has happened historically. When all of that talk started and I said that y'all were the descendants of the ones Harriet left behind, y'all were laying into me like I called you everything but a child of God. And it's like, why, when you're still doing this?
If y'all don't know what she's talking about the black people that voted for Kamala Harris in 2024, and they, after that demoralizing loss that Kamala was expected. I mean, Kamala Harris was a bad candidate. Yeah, like somebody says, having COVID plus being a drunkard, like, yeah, that doesn't make you any better. Um, like, yeah. So basically, what she's saying is, I'm going to decode what she's saying is, those people are stuck in a Democratic plantation. And she's not wrong. She's not wrong at all. I think those people are lost. I really do. Maybe some of them could get deprogrammed to, like, I just, because their candidate didn't win. Hey, like, live and let live. Like, but let me continue, man.
Any black person that I know in real life or is mutuals on platforms that are talking about grassroots organizing, mutual aid, showing themselves doing various levels of community works. There are
That's the shit that everybody needs to be doing at this point. I think that should be priority number one over voting in a election every 4 years or every 2 years for Senate and House races. I mean, like, Like she's speaking the truth power here, man. Like I'm telling you.
An alarming amount of black people, discouraging them from doing so. And if we were truly, as a community, capable of having hard conversations, of looking ourselves in the mirror and really reconciling with where we fail, we would be honest about the fact that a lot of black folk thought they inherited revolutionary works. They didn't think they'd have to add to them. People have turned their grief into a sword of apathy, and that is so deeply concerning to me. Because
Before I got into doing this space, I wasn't doing mutual aid at all. Like I was like every other normie person at the time. Like, hey, just you get yours. Get yours. I had that mindset was kind of like drilled into me at a young age. Like, hey, you get yours. My mom always used to say this song. Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child that got his own. Like that type of mentality. I had that mindset a long time ago. But now I realize that you shit. Um, what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm just running off in the mouth, forgetting what the fuck I'm saying. Hell, like now I grown a lot to believe that I had to look myself in the mirror as well. I like to say, hey man, do I want to continue being in this democratic plantation? Do I really I voted for Hillary Clinton. She lost to a game show host. Then, Bernie Sanders came along and dropped out again and bent the knee to Joe Biden. Like, do I really I just like something got to change here, man. Something has to change. Like, so yeah, yeah, like I think a lot of times like you could preach to people like, hey man, we need to do more revolutionary work. We need to do this. We need to do that. But at the end of the day, they have to be willing to do it. Like you can't force nobody, you know. Like when you educate people, like they might not get it at first, but hopefully you hope down the line, how long it takes, they'll get it. That's what I wanted to say.
ultimately, that's what this is: prolonged grief. A lot of black folks are figuring out, perhaps for the first time in their life, that they did not truly inherit freedom, but rather inherited steps toward it, which required them to continue on. And that's something a lot of people haven't yet reconciled with. It's the reason why a lot of black folks think that capitalism will save us, or separatism slash segregation will save us.
Yeah, like one of my coworkers at work, like he has that capitalist mindset. I'm like, dude, you first of all, you're black in America. Like the system don't want you to be successful. They want you to. The system either want this. They want you to be slave to the system, or they want you to be want you in the prison industrial complex to be an indentured slave. Like, bro, capitalism is not gonna save you. It's not gonna save you, bro. It's not gonna save you. I
Because you haven't grieved the fact that you are intended to do works. If your ultimate goal is self-determination for black folk, if the ultimate goal is liberation, you inherited an uncompleted project and you don't want to have to finish it. And there's a host of factors that play into this, but like this increased indifference and apathy that is being framed as revolutionary and pro-black is where I'm concerned. I don't care if you want to sit out doing shit. I care if you try to act like sitting out is the revolutionary response. A lot of people want to sit out because they know that ultimately they inherited an incomplete project and they are not going to be able to finish it. That stirs a lot of feelings in here that people don't know what to do with yet, making them obfuscate the function of these works, of mutual aid, of organizing, which has again always been a long game. When I made the video a few years back on Haitian Independence Day, which is the new year, I impressed upon people that it was a 13-year long war, because it was. A lot of black people in my comments did not know that. But also, a lot of people didn't know there were, prior to the Haitian Revolution, hundreds of
See, that's why you have to educate yourself. Oh man, like that's why I learned so much shit, man, by just educating myself. Like educating myself changed me a lot. I think differently. I see things differently. Um, like um, yeah, like she said, a lot of black folks, they yeah, they think sitting out is revolutionary. Like not. not trying to change the system from within. Like that's not revolutionary. Revolutionary is trying to change the system. You're trying. It's not gonna work easy. It's not gonna be easy. Like no, like people think changing shit is easy. It's not. It's not. I'm not gonna sit here and tell y'all like just get your pitchforks out and go to the Capitol and whatever. I gotta watch what I say on YouTube, but I'm just saying it takes education. Like you learn from prior revolts, as she said, prior revolutions. Like this is why education out there. Let me continue.
Revolts that led up to the circumstances that allowed this to happen. If you are a descendant of chattel slavery, you have ancestors potentially, because again, everybody doesn't come from like an inherently revolutionary background, but you potentially have
Right.
ancestors who lived and died in chains and still made shit shake because they knew someone could potentially inherit that one day, and they wanted to prevent that outcome. There's an underling of sacrifice that a lot of people are not prepared to do, and it's that knowledge that is promoting Black people to shift the terms of pro-Blackness, of revolutionary thought and activity, to be one of apathy, to be one of sitting down. And it's especially weird for me because I have a video going viral right now from last week talking about the fact that we are ultimately in the States in a white-Black racial conflict, as we have been since chattel slavery began here. And a ton of Black people in my comments are agreeing. So if you genuinely do think that's the case, what is singing out going to do for you? If you understand truly you're the ultimate target. A few months ago when I came on here and talked about this shit, it made me angry. Now I'm just kind of sad for y'all. That's a really hopeless place to be. That's the only way you can like really rationalize it. If you don't think that there will ever be a better outcome, or rather the outcome that you get, even if it is better, because it is not total freedom, because it's not total liberation, because it is not full self-determination, you don't think it's worth seeking. That's the spirit of people who gave up. And that's saddening. To spend my entire life being coached into the belief that Black folks have this indomitable spirit. We will always rise up against oppression. And then, I don't know. And some
No, to me, I'm just gonna bring this in for a second. Like, I really think that most of them feel that way is because I think, you know, I think the Democratic Party has a lot to do with it. Um, I think it's how a lot of how a lot of black folks think now. The infiltration of the Democratic Party over the last, what, 60, 50, 60 years, Um, See, the thing was, oh, because we got the Voting Rights Act and we got the Civil Rights Act, then, all of that, like Martin Luther King was going to, Martin Luther King was moving more towards socialism. And that's why they nuked him. But, yeah, like we just, it, you know, this is why we need our own. That's why black folks need to distance themselves from the Democratic Party. Um, um, you got to, we got to, like, because Democratic Party it's impeding it's impeding what we're trying to accomplish here.
that I've been thinking about for the past few days, because a lot of us were raised in some level of Christian tradition typically. For us, the body without a spirit is dead. Faith without works is dead also. But
Exactly. I know, especially Christian folk. Christian folks that probably watch this, like, yeah, like you want shit done, you got to put in the work. You got to have belief that the work, hopefully, it will take some time. Will get completed, and then you'll seek that liberation. You know what I mean? So, so yeah, I had to put that in there too.
believing you deserve freedom, believing you deserve liberation, believing that your children should have full access to self-determination is not enough, because faith without works is dead. For all of our hooting and hollering, I think a lot of people are losing sight of the fact that you inherited a bounty. You were not born in the most barbaric and cruel iterations of slavery. You are living in its derivatives, but even that is a privilege. And I think that if we as a culture truly venerated our ancestors more, if people understood the sacrifices that took place, the fact that quite literally dozens of generations never saw freedom, they were born and died in shackles for you. You could not be talking like this. You could not genuinely think sitting back would do anything for you now or for your children later. They don't have to cajole you to do shit. This country bombed a city block in Philly in 85 over Pan-Africanism. Gave us
Yep. And then they celebrated, well, not celebrated, but they remembered the anniversary of that. Wow, man. Um, Like, yeah, like that right there should be all you need to know, black folk. That right there. Bummed a city block in broad daylight, bro. Oh my god.
crack and guns as population control and ensured they'd have a full-time slave population through incarceration. That's only possible because of the power their ancestors consolidated and that they are making sure is maintained. And similarly, your ancestors ensured you were not born during the worst iteration of enslavement you could have been. And I do think you owe it to them, as well as your future descendants, to move them further along. I thought we all understood that.
Kudos to her, man. Shaking sheets. Follow her on TikTok. Some of the people on TikTok's amazing, man. They wow, they be cooking. They be cooking, man. I'm telling y'all, man. Like, see, that's the shit people need to hear, man. That's the shit that needs to be like pushed out, to the ass. Like, um, you know, credit to her. She didn't use democratic plantation like I said it, um, but she had those couple of phrases in there, like sitting around doing nothing. Like, um, if you think running to the Democratic Party or supporting the Democratic Party is actually doing something revolutionary, then you just a lost cause. So, all right, guys, if you're just not coming in, because I know um, these platforms slow with pushing out our content, be sure to like the video. It's free, don't cost you nothing. And man, I got a few stories for y'all. So let's get to it. All right, guys. So yeah, man. Wow, this news came yesterday, man. I was doing nothing, just relaxing. It was one of my days off. I looked on Twitter because I really wasn't on Twitter yesterday um, at all because I'm just really sick of Twitter at this point. But just looked at the Explore tab, and I saw it said Biden has prostate cancer. So wow, it's from CNN. It says Biden diagnosed with aggressive form of prostate cancer. So uh, it says, hold on, play this video. I play it after I read it. It says former President Joe Biden was diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer, according to a statement from his personal office Sunday, and it has spread to his bones. Last week, President Biden was seen for new findings of a prostate nodule after experiencing increasing urinary symptoms. On Friday, he was diagnosed with prostate cancer, characterized by a Gleason score of 9, grade group 5, with metastasis to the bones. Yeah, metastasis. It continued, why this represents a more aggressive form of disease. The cancer appears to be hormone sensitive, which allows for effective management. Biden, 82, and his family are reviewing treatment options with his physicians, the statement said. News come days after a spokesperson for Biden said the former president was recently evaluated for a small nodule discovered in his prostate. It says prostate cancer is very common, said Dr. Jamin Brombat, a urologist and robotic surgeon with the Orlando Health and an assistant professor at the University of Central Florida's College of Medicine, who is not involved in Biden's treatment. As we get older, most men are going to have little cancer cells in them. Prostate cancer can be assigned as a grade known as a Gleason score based on what the cells look like under a microscope. A Gleason score of 9 means it's the most aggressive form of prostate cancer. Dr. Benjamin Davies, a professor of urologic oncology at the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, who is also not involved in Biden's case, said in an email. Um, Biden is at his home in Wilmington, Delaware, this weekend, according to a source familiar. CNN has inquired about where the former president has been treated. So I'm gonna continue a little bit more because it says something. But let me say this. Um, you know, as a person that has my issues with Biden over the last a long time, you know, um, I don't wish nothing on anybody. I don't wish nobody getting sick. Because how people is, oh Andre, because you don't like Biden, you wish cancer on him. No, I don't. I never said I wish anything on anybody. It's just that People like, I mean, I'm gonna say this, then I'm gonna move on because I gotta watch what I say. Um, like, remember those kids in Gaza that needed cancer treatment? Biden denied them that because he gave Israel's bombs to destroy the hospitals that offered the treatments. I mean, that's all I gotta say about that. Uh, let me continue. Oh, hold on. There we go. Let me continue. It says Biden faced concerns over health during 2024 race. Concerns about age and health bogged dog Biden, the oldest president in U.S. history throughout his time in office. He came into sharper focus following his halting debate performance against Donald Trump last June. In February 2024, Biden underwent a physical at Walter Reed National Military Center, overseen by Dr. Kevin O'Connor, who at the time said there were no concerns with the president's health and he was fit for duty. Yeah, right. See that's see, and now people are coming out saying, yeah, something's wrong with Biden. I didn't cover that, but yeah, like duh, like we really don't need y'all to confirm that. Like we could see with our bare eyes, like the man wandering around and shit, like yeah, that's not a normal person would do. Like yeah, so oh god, but let me continue. A new book written by CNN's Jake Tapper and Axios. Alex Tupson describes how the president has been showing signs of decline that aides ignored or displayed away, even before Biden's disastrous debate that led to his decision to exit 2024 election 3 weeks later. Um, Tapper and Thompson write that Biden's aides privately discussed whether they would have put him in a wheelchair for his second term, and that Biden didn't recognize movie star George Clooney at a 2024 fundraiser, but he wanted to run for president again. Like, yeah, you don't even know who George Clooney is, and then they say you might need to be in a wheelchair, bro. Like, I mean, yeah. Remember when he said himself that he was willing to serve one term? Even they knew this all along. They knew this man was had cognitive decline, but they gave us hell for it when we called it out, saying we just laughing at him and shit. Like, no, we not. We just calling out what we see. Like, I ain't laughing at nobody. Like, Jesus Christ, man. Um, it says Biden has maintained a relatively low profile since leaving the White House, but has slowly started to reemerge on the public stage. He appeared alongside his wife Jill Biden earlier this month on ABC's The View, where he pushed back on suggestions he experienced cognitive decline in his final year in office. Um, they are wrong, Biden said. There's nothing to sustain that. Okay. But your aide said otherwise, Biden. The former First Lady added, the people who wrote these books aren't in the White House with us, and they didn't see how hard Joe worked every single day. I mean, the man had a schedule. Like he go to bed, like when they did interviews and stuff. Like no, they had a what do they call it? Damn, yeah, schedule where um like he shuts down after what 4 o'clock or something like that. I think so. I remember hearing something about that. I didn't have a we didn't have a network then. Like, come on, bro. Like something was wrong with him. Even back in 2019, 2020, something wrong with him. You could tell. Like, come on, bro. In that debate with Bernie Sanders, like they gave him Adderall, all all kinds of shit, man. Like I remember this stuff. Like, damn, that show you these people think we stupid as hell, bro. Um, Trump has continued to criticize Biden even after then the president dropped out of the 2024 race and claimed Biden suffered from cognitive decline. During Trump's trip to the Middle East last week, he largely ignored the long-held presidential norms and avoided criticizing domestic opponents while traveling abroad, which personally attacking his predecessor multiple times. But Trump put his feelings aside Sunday as he expressed well wishes for the former president. He says, Melania, I saddened to hear about Joe Biden's recent medical diagnosis. We extend our warmest and best wishes to Jill and the family and wish Joe a fast and successful recovery. Um, he posted on Truth Social and it says, former President Kamala Harris, who took over the Democrats' campaign after Biden dropped out of the race, also wished the former president a speedy recovery and added that Joe is a fighter. Doug and I are saddened to learn of President Biden's prostate cancer diagnosis. We are keeping him, Dr. Biden, and their entire family in our hearts and prayers during this time. Harris wrote on X, Joe is a fighter, and I know he will face this challenge with the same strength and resilience and optimism that always defined his life and leadership. We are hopeful for a full and speedy recovery. So now I'm finna play this video. It's probably nothing but just a summary. Let me see.
How is this news hitting you?
Well, I mean, it comes at such a stressful time for President Biden, as you guys pointed out. Jake and Alex's book just came out. It's getting a lot of attention, a lot of reflection on his decision to run again, and that the rehashing of all of that can't be pleasant for him. But this supersedes all of that, obviously, and you know he's not a stranger to medical crises. He dealt with 2 brain aneurysms earlier in his life, and almost lost his life as a result of that, and was able to soldier through that. He obviously has experienced a lot of tragedy in his life as well, with the loss of 2 children, one by car accident, and his wife, his first wife, and of course the death of his son Bo. Joe Biden is the unluckiest lucky man on the planet. He's lived an incredible life of service, 50 years of it. But he's also experienced untold tragedy. And I just, whatever your political persuasion, whatever your feelings are about how his career ended, whatever you think, this is a good and decent man who has served his country. And
Good and decent. Biden was like, look, I don't wish, again, I have to say this because people will twist your words around. I don't wish no sickness on nobody. But again, because, he got this diagnosis. That doesn't delete the fact that all of the bad shit he has done. It's like, y'all want me to go through what he did? The bankruptcy bill, the crime bill, um, work with Sean Thurman, the same guy that filibustered for almost a whole day over the 1957 civil rights bill. Um, voted for the Iraq War. You want me to keep going? Like those are the 3 main. Those are the most worst things he has done. There's a lot of others. Oh yeah, Gaza, the genocide in Gaza. I forgot about that. I can't forget about that, right? I got the Palestinian flag behind me. You know, like he's a good guy. Wow. Yeah, that's not good. Like to me, being good is um um. And never mind. Let me continue.
we're all pulling for him.
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, this comes at a time where there is so much, and continued attention, placed on his mental acuity and stability, as well as ahead of this book release. And you mentioned there's been a lot of discussion about it. His medical condition now, his announced medical condition now. Do you believe that silences
Okay.
or delays a lot of conversations about his, last year and a half of his presidency for now?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think those conversations are going to happen, but they should be more muted and set aside for now as he's struggling through this.
Oh, so now he's down and out right now. Like all of the speculation that people have been saying for the longest time should be muted. No, It don't work like that. I'm pretty sure this book by Jake Tapper and them, I'm pretty sure it'll be like muted because of this. But again, it's like, it's like, bro, like that's what they do, man. Um, like y'all literally lied about his cognitive health, cognitive health, man. Like y'all kept that shit under ropes. Like y'all knew this man had cognitive decline. Like, but if it wasn't for that diabolical debate performance, like, I mean, Trump was still won anyway. I think because oh god, the Democrats don't want to win at all. So but again, it's just boy.
Um, yeah, it's I just it shouldn't be stunning because prostate cancer is so common among men at his stage in life. Most men, if they live long enough, deal with prostate cancer. But and it's great news that they think that it's manageable, but jarring nonetheless. You know, the thing, Fred, is that people who serve in these offices, they sort of become embedded in our lives, and and this is a reminder that no one's immortal, and so it's jarring. And I had the opportunity to serve with Vice President Biden for 2 years in the White House, and I was around when some of the concerns about health, Bo's health, later on when I was working as a consultant to the campaign, Bo's health came to the fore, and I just feel for the family, because it's one more thing to struggle with right now.
So yeah, I'm ended there. Um, so yeah, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna end this segment. Um, you know, see, you heard that, since Biden, he has gold-plated healthcare because he served not only in the Senate, yeah, Senate, he served as vice president and president. So most likely, he get these treatments they say he get, even though those treatments gonna be a bear because not only those treatments are strong as hell. My dad had prostate cancer, so I know about those treatments. And then his age, man's 82 years old, so he could get the help he deserves, uh, but there's so many people in this country that have prostate cancer can't get the help they deserve because either deny, defend, oppose with these health insurance companies, you know, just like or generally just lack of health insurance. Like a lot of people don't even have health insurance in this country, so Biden could get the help he needs, might live a little bit longer. So why so many millions of other people, which he's part of, like, I mean, I mean, oh God. So yeah, man. Like, it is what it is. So anyway, all right, guys. On to the next story. All right, guys. So the next story I want to talk about is David Hogg. He was on MSNBC 3 days ago talking about the DNC stifling him. Like, like, oh, dude should learn from the other folks that stifling the Democratic Party, bro. Like, they will do anything to destroy you, bro. Like, the craziest thing about it is David Hogg is really doing a milk toast strategy, which just basically getting somebody that's basically more like AOC, willing to say some of the quiet part out loud, like say something more than the usual regular Democrats. Like, really, it isn't gonna change anything. Like the Democratic Party, you can't change the Democratic Party. Like, shout out to Sherman once. She said the vote to the Democratic Party is a dead end. That's crazy. Like the bare minimal, like the do nothing Democrats, the do nothing neocons to the neocons that talk platitudes and they stifle the guy. But anyway, let's play this video, man. Here we go.
Now, DNC Vice Chair David Hogg.
I will defer to the former DNC member on this.
I am a former DNC member. Thank you for being here tonight. Okay. I want to play Malcolm Kenyatta, a piece of what he put out on social media yesterday and today. Take a listen to the other vice chair of the DNC, Kenyatta.
We have spent now weeks talking about one person, not about what the party needs to do, but talking about one person. And now, as this new thing has happened, the press is rushing to take David's word for it, that this is yet another way that people are trying to get him. David knows that's bull. I refuse to sit here and allow the press to continue to push this narrative as if I'm not sitting right here, and as if I didn't get way more votes than he got, and as if I haven't been doing the work of trying to rebuild this party.
What's your response to that?
Look, I have an enormous amount of respect for Malcolm Kenyatta as a vice chair of the DNC. Obviously, there's disagreements that we have. What I would say is you were right. This challenge came months.
See, Malcolm Kenyatta is one of those people where like they'll do anything to to be under the DNC wing. see I know for a fact that he wouldn't do what David Hogg did. Which really was shit, but I'm just saying, like, hell, don't make those masses mad. No. Oh God.
Right after the election happened in the first place. What I would also say, though, is that in conversations that I've had with members of the DNC, the consensus prior to our announcement of the primary challenge effort was that this effort to redo the elections was not going to make it past the committee. It was not going to move forward. That was the consensus of many of the members that I have talked to.
On the credentials.
That's crazy. Now, yeah, I guess it's a process to challenge folks, which is not surprising. But again, it's like they oust the guy because he dared to say something? Wow, boy. Tell me, man, these motherfuckers, boy. Like they stone cold, man. Like let's just get old. Let's just replace the old neocons with the young neocons, and the DNC lost their shit. As expected. When I first heard that news came out, what he wanted to do, I was like, yeah, oh boy, he should be Outski's dog. Like they like the Democratic Party don't want to win, bro. They just want to continue to campaign off. They just want to campaign, bro. They want to raise money. Like they don't care. Like I guess David Hogg. I heard. Yeah, I knew him from the Parkland shooting. But again, bro. Like yeah. Now you see. Now he see who they really are. Even people say, "Hey, this ain't gonna get past the main the hierarchy." And they still want to get rid of him like that. That's why I'm kind of like chuckled a little bit.
Committee.
Well, specifically around the DNC when they had conversations about this. And the belief now is that this is a useful opportunity that unfortunately has caught up Vice Chair Kenyatta as well in it to use a simple majority in order to essentially vote me out instead of the two-thirds or the two-thirds requirement that they would have to officially remove me as an officer, because the consensus prior to this was that this was not going to move forward, but they believe, many of the members that I have talked to, that it is moving forward as a convenient way to remove me effectively with a simple majority.
I just want to make one statement and then I'll defer to the chairman and Alicia. I think that there are a lot of people that would say your argument is an argument that like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Given everything that's happening, they are trying to get him out. But as you well know, the DNC, i.e. the officers in the building, they do not dictate what the membership does in terms of these committee hearings. And so if the feeling of the people on the committee has in fact changed, it's because that's what the membership does feel like. And so I think that you're conflating two things. How Chairman Martin.
All right, Simone Sanders, stop being crazy. She acting like she don't know no better. Like somebody hit her in the head with a coconut. Like the membership agree with David Hogg. I mean, the membership agrees with him. It's just that the committee don't. The committee don't want that shit. Committee like the status quo. They want shit to stay the same. They don't want no change. It's a power thing too, because most likely, if you primary challenge people, you'll put more younger people in there. They want to be neocons. They will turn into neocons because ain't no way in hell you gonna run in the Democratic Party and be an anti-war, a pro-peace person. Like that's not gonna work. Let me continue.
And maybe some of the other officers feel about what you have taken up in terms of challenging, getting involved in primaries, but not primaries that would cost a race. And then this thing here with a proportionment of the rules.
But it's also the membership. And what I would say to that is I believe when I talked to a member just about an hour ago about this, she said to me, David, I honestly believe if they came to the committee right now and said we have candidates A, B, and C in this whole situation and they left our names off of it, that this never would have gone through in the first place. And that's the broader issue. It's not specifically that, the officers are playing a role here. It's that people believe that there is a change in faith of what has happened here because of what we're doing in these primary challenges. And ultimately, what I think we need to be centering is what are we doing to address the fact that we have a 27% approval rating, despite the fact that we have a president that is literally selling a cryptocurrency from the White House that foreign governments are buying in order to bribe him, essentially. He literally just took a $400 million jet, and there is so much more to focus on in that regard in particular. And of course, there are going to be disagreements. We're Democrats. But
I mean, the Democratic Party don't care. They do the same thing, but it's under the cover. Like they get foreign bribes and they do scams too. Like, yeah, Donald Trump is doing it out in the open. And there ain't nothing getting done about it. So I mean, like, yeah, like all these politicians do some kind of corrupt shit. And also too the insider trading that Nancy Pelosi is doing too. Like, yeah, like that's crazy. Like you call out one side, but what's your side doing? Hypocrisy at its finest, man.
I think that's one of the things that makes our party strong, is that we can have our disagreements, but ultimately we're all on the same side here of building the strongest party possible to defeat Republicans.
I appreciate.
Come on, man. Oh God, man. That Democratic Party makes you so delusional. It really does, bro. It does. Like, bro, they oust you out because you wanted to challenge the status quo, and now you're saying, "Oh, the Democratic Party, we fight. We're gonna fight, but we stand together to defeat the Republican." Like Donald Trump won. He won because, oh God. I mean, y'all know what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying it with joy, but I'm saying it like y'all lost. Y'all lost the House. Y'all lost the city. Like, that means y'all ain't doing something right. Okay. Oh my God. Like, yeah. Come on, bro.
Appreciate the whole idea of what makes your party strong, but it also, I think, creates an unnecessary narrative around a lot of stuff. To your very point of what you've been arguing, folks should be focused on, and the process is about, hey, let's take a look at who we're elevating out there that can win in this new environment that's being created. At the core of this, David, is the fact that, as I understand it from some of the members, is that as an official of the party, the idea that you would be behind your particular PAC would be in a position to then engage in primaries to go challenge an incumbent.
And then he said $8 million too to do this. Like $8 million is not a lot of money. Like, what's that, 2 or 3 candidates? Like, damn, bro. Boy.
As a sitting member of the DNC, there's some folks that have issues around that, which, I can see that argument. But I can tell you that as a party official, and I don't know if the DNC has this thing called a Rule 11, where the party at the state level at least picks winners and losers in primaries, where they say we want Simone over Joe.
At the state level, yeah.
So you do have that kind of an effort. So how is I guess my question is
yes, not a.
I ain't surprised. Just like same with Bernie Sanders. Hey, we want Joe Biden, not Bernie Sanders. We want Hillary Clinton, not Bernie Sanders. Same shit. Not surprising. Even if Simone Sanders said it out loud. Quiet part out loud.
Let me add this in as well. This is a really important point. this is not unprecedented. There have been vice chairs before with leadership PACs that have been involved in primaries, that have endorsed in primaries. And my concern here is that even if this rule does pass, it's going to be selectively enforced, where when the president appoints a member of Congress in the future that has a leadership PAC, and then they give to somebody, either an incumbent or a challenger incumbent through that leadership PAC, I don't believe that we're going to say to that member of Congress, I'm sorry, you can't be a member here anymore.
Can you clarify, though, which vice chairs had the PACs? Which
we had Gretchen Whitmer
vice
and
chairs?
Tammy Duckworth that were vice chairs that had PACs. And there are also current sitting members of the DNC that are officers that endorsed when they were vice chairs.
Who? And then I guess because what I've been on the phone with DNC members the last 2 days, and people are, one, they feel like this is a distraction. They feel like what you did is a distraction in terms of your announcement. You could have just quietly did it. They're like, why he got to make an announcement? So that's one point of contention you can respond to if you'd like. But also, a lot of people feel like you're trying to have it both ways. Even though there are people that, a lot of people also agree with you. They agree that members just are not entitled to a seat. Members of Congress should not be entitled to a seat. The people own these seats. But people say that you want to have it both ways. You want to be both judge and jury. And you are cherry picking examples, people have said to me, to underscore your position. And if you really take a deep look, like I worked for Senator Sanders, and I do remember 2015, 2016. There were people that really do feel as though that the DNC rigged the election. And I had to go out after we lost at the convention and say,
they did rig the election. Like, come on, Sanders. You just want to be in the club, sweetheart. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, a coconut fell on your head hard or something. Like, come on now. Like, we really gotta go back 10 years to diagnose what really happened. Like, oh my God, bro. These people.
I worked for Senator Sanders. Somebody rigged the election. He didn't win enough votes from black and brown people.
Of course, right? Yeah. They did rig the election, Simone. Like, super delegates. He had the votes to be the nominee in 2016, but super delegate. What is a super delegate? Like, remember that? Like, I remember all this shit. This is when the craziest thing about me, I still end up voting for Hillary Clinton, I guess because of Bernie's influence, but I started to realize, like, shit started coming together. Like, damn, they really don't want this man to win. And yeah, to be honest with you, Bernie really didn't have a thorough black agenda. Like, people pushed him to push for reparations, and he didn't want that. Bernie Sanders was one of those type of people where, like, Medicare for all and, Green New Deal and all that shit at the time, would be like reparations, which, nah, bro. But you support reparations for Jews, though. But let me continue.
But the reality was there were people within the Democratic National Committee at the highest levels who definitely had their fingers and thumbs on the scale for Secretary Clinton. And so,
yeah, that woman, I forgot her name. Like, she admitted, she came out, I think 2017, said, yeah, we gave Hillary Clinton answers in advance of the debates. We try to push her out there. Like, but you said a few seconds ago that they didn't rig it. Like, come on, man. Can't believe I'm going back to this, but this is crazy.
I don't understand.
And let me say this much. If we're going to adopt that type of philosophy, that means we can't work with the D-TRIP. We can't work with the DS.
No, but we're talking about the DNC. Let's focus on the DNC.
Because some of the response to what I'm doing has been is that I've proposed that we create an internal firewall in the DNC in order to say, you know what, we understand that there are going to be people in the future that have leadership PACs, that are members of Congress, that are governors and other people. So let's just isolate them so that they don't have any insider information that could have undue influence in these elections. And the response to that has been, well, we can't do that because we're going to work with the DS and the D-TRIP, which famously do get involved in primaries. So my question is this really a matter of philosophy, or is this a way of trying to remove somebody trying to challenge the status quo? That's my question. Because if it really is a matter of philosophy, if they came out here and said right now, no officer, and we will enforce this, that no officer is going to be involved in primaries going forward by any means, but we're going to grandfather the current officers in who ran under the bylaws as they are. The DNC is an organization that is over 170 years old. We have a long list of bylaws that do say specifically you cannot be involved in the presidential primary, because we do have oversight over that, and I think that makes total sense. But if we're going to say that we can't have any role in primaries whatsoever. We need our state parties to be held to that same standard, which I don't believe is going to happen. And we also need to make sure that we're holding our sister committees to that same standard, which I also don't think is going to happen.
I agree with the distraction part. I think the distraction, though, is that you came in and you upset the apple cart.
Mm-hmm. And it needed to be.
You came in and you said, okay, this is the party that's talked generational shift. Let's back it up.
Mm-hmm.
And now let's begin to engage. It is.
They don't want to do generational shifts. That's what's called status quo. They want to keep things the same. Yeah, they talk that shit, but they'll beat it. Like, people say a lot of stuff they don't mean. Like, I mean, like him or not, I mean, David Hogg right there, I mean, he said, hey, let's get younger. Let's get the do-nothing Democrats out. Let's put in more younger, vibrant neocons.
What makes your position tough is that you're at the table as an officer of the party. But here's the thing. If there are examples of the party allowing that to happen in space in other areas, then what is it about this effort that sets off so many fire alarms?
What I do know about Gretchen Whitmer's PAC and Tammy Duckworth's PAC is that they did not. They didn't elevate particular Democratic candidates in Democratic primaries. They gave across the board to Democratic elected officials, my understanding. And Tulsi Gabbard, who at one point in time was a vice chair of the DNC, y'all, she endorsed Senator Sanders in the presidential primary, and she stepped down. She had to give up her seat to do that.
But what is it?
So what I'm saying is, I think
effort?
that effort is different. That's what people are. That is what everyone is saying to me. That what you're doing is different than what's been done before. What's your answer to that?
My response is that I think what I'm doing that's different from before is I'm challenging the status quo in a direct way and head on. And that really scares people. But frankly, I think right now, nobody should be comfortable when our country is in a moment of crisis. And I think that there is far too much comfortability across the board. And we need to make sure that we are electing the best people possible in our own party, using democracy to show how we're fighting to give you the best person to represent you possible, regardless of whether or not you're in a purple district or a very blue district. And ultimately, it's not me or any member of the DNC that is deciding these elections. It's the voters in these districts. And all we're trying to say here is let's give people the option when our party has a record low approval rating to say, here's what we're going to do, here's how we're trying to address that, and here's how we're trying to use democracy ourselves to build the strongest Democratic Party possible so that we can get back to giving people an alternative vision for our country. That is not simply saying that we're against Donald Trump, because here's the question that...
Okay, I'm ended right there. So, yeah, you heard him. Let me say this. Then we'll get to the next story. It's like, I don't even think he challenges the status quo. I mean, if you want to challenge the status quo, is like you will form your own party, or you will leave the party and tell people to vote for another alternative party or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, outside of the duopoly. Like, I mean, like, the people what he wanted to do, like, they're still gonna be go be the Democratic Party, and that right there should show everybody that, hey, they don't want to win. Like he said, they too comfortable. Like, Donald Trump win, they fine. They don't care who wins, Donald Trump, any other Republican candidate. If they win, hey, that's a bonus for them. But like, yeah. So, yeah, man, that was David Hogg. Yeah, he still, even though they don't want him no more, vice chair. He still, saying that, oh, we still fight for the people. No, you don't. No, you don't, bro. All right, guys, on to the next. All right, guys. So this right here is I'm just running out of words to say. This is wild. Obviously, I did a story on this a few months ago. Where some kind of Israel lobbying group asked the feds to investigate Miss Rachel, a children content creator that makes kids content. Miss Rachel. All because she said that, harming innocent children is bad. Literally. She didn't criticize Israel. She didn't say, like, she didn't go far as me, you know, say F Israel, or, Israel shouldn't exist. It's an imaginary state. She said all that. She just said that innocent children shouldn't be harmed because he loves kids. This is from the Deflector. It says the New York Times really asked Miss Rachel if she's paid by Hamas. Oh God. Um, it says make it a little bit bigger. It says the house style of the New York Times is severely outdated. Depending on the topic, the newspaper's purposely impartial tone instead reads as smug, self-amused, and deeply lazy. That's hell. That's not only the New York Times. That's really the whole mainstream media, to be honest with you. Um, the results are disastrous when applied to a recent article, which sincerely considers the idea that Rachel Griffin, um, Crusoe, the popular children entertainer known as Miss Rachel, might be financially compensated by Hamas. Oh shit. Um, Miss Rachel grave scene is that she wants Israel to stop starving and killing Palestinian children in Gaza. That's all. For this, she has become a target of pro-Israel contingent so committed to suppressing any support for Palestine that they have abandoned basic human dignity. Griffin Crusoe, Miss Rachel, has spoken out on the crisis for a while on her Instagram page. In the past week, she posted a number of statements that promote organizations which aid children suffering from violence and hunger, including malnutrition in Gaza and famine in Sudan. So she's not only trying to help out the kids in Gaza, she's helping out other kids in other countries that have been exploited by their resources and shit. So that don't sound like she's supported by Hamas. And anyway, Hamas, like, I have to keep saying this because some people are just so dumbfounded. Like, bro, like, what Hamas is doing isn't international law. Hamas is made up of mostly orphans, right? Because their parents got unalived by Israel, right? Like, yeah, some of you probably know that. Well, Andre is here with the education, I guess. Uh, Let me continue. It says Miss Rachel recently shared photos of her visit with a 3-year-old double amputee from Gaza, as well as clips from a her-long interview published by Zeto on Monday. In a conversation with Mehdi Hassan, she explained what motivated her advocacy for Palestinian children. It's sad that people try to make it controversial when you speak out for children that are facing immeasurable suffering, Ms. Rachel said. The largest cohort of child amputees in modern history. That acronym for a child who is that has no surviving relatives. I think it should be controversial not to say anything. Exactly. Because silence, oh, I'm sorry, y'all. Because silence is complicity. I mean, like DJ Khaled, for example, like, he's Palestinian and hasn't said one word, not as I know of what's going on in Gaza. Silence is complicity. Um, when I wrote about Miss Rachel last month, it seemed straightforwardly appalling that anyone would twist her compassion for children into something sinister. Mark Tracy's article on the matter, published on Wednesday, takes it as a subject worth serious inquiry. The headline, Why Top Celebrity Miss Rachel Waded into the Gaza Debate, suggests that the debate is weighing on the prompt Israel should stop bombing Palestinian children. Contra keep bombing them. The switch from point to counterpoint is so dizzying to wonder why, if Tracy realizes that he comes off as sounding like he finds some merit in killing kids. Well, he's probably a Zionist. Like, Zionists don't care. So that's not. Um, it says, it's clear to see how we treat children to help them thrive and grow into happy, healthy adults, Ms. Rachel said, responding to questions over email. We need to stop failing them, she said, adding that in particular, no children uh, should have that crucial brain development ages 3 to 0 interrupted by trauma. Which the sad reality is these kids now experiencing what's going on in Gaza. Oh yeah. But Ms. Rachel advocacy on behalf of Gazan children has led some supporters of Israel to accuse her of treating Palestinian children with more sympathy than Israeli ones. Oh my God, bro. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God, bro. Oh my God. See. I kind of knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. So you saying Miss Rachel is anti-Semitic? Get the fuck up out of here, man. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Um, it says, including the ones abducted in Hamas attack on October 7th, 2023. You see what they do? See what they do? They always do that. Say, oh, see, she pro Hamas because she only cares about those kids, those brown kids. She don't care about, the others. Like, Miss Rachel care about all kids. It don't matter what situation they're in. You seen that she support the kids in Sudan too. That man, I tell you, boy. Maybe glad to see YouTube. Tell him. Nowhere in this article you will find the reported death toll of over 15,000 Palestinian children and counting since October of 2023, which explains the proportional coverage a little too easily. The information would jeopardize the agreed upon exchange rate, and who might see these supporters of Israel anyway. It's the cook is scared of the flag pins. Um, it says last month the advocacy group Stop Anti-Semitism labeled Miss Rachel as the anti-Semite of the week. What? And the New York Post reported sent a letter urging Attorney General Pam Bundy to investigate whether Miss Rachel is receiving funding to further Hamas's agenda. Oh my God. Um, Ms. Rachel posted nearly 50 times about children of Gaza, most of which is filled with misinformation from Hamas, and only 5 times about Israeli children. Wow. Well, okay. So let me get this straight because I think so. Hey, so she posted about the Israeli children. Okay, that's fine, but she didn't. But she posted more about the brown kids that are actively now getting bombs dropped on their head. So she's anti-Semitic. Okay, okay, okay. I got it. The group, which notions statements about Israel on social media, um, accounts of permanent figures said on his website. In the case of his Israeli children, uh, he only posted due to widespread public backlash, never condemning Hamas and the Palestinians. Condemning Hamas and the Palestinians for what? They're the ones. They're the ones getting. Man, I tell you. Ms. Rachel, in an email response denying having received money from Hamas, the accusation not only absurd but patently false. She said. Um, did that go like by the? Did that go by the things of libel and slander, defamation? Um, Here's something else you won't find in this New York Times article. The name of anyone in the Stop Anti-Semitism, a public irritant with no legitimacy no whatsoever. So basically, the Stop Anti-Semitism article, people whoever runs it is just a bunch of trolls, basically. So it's just like I bet it's just a bunch of people that goes around and they probably they go around and just find random high prominent figures to fuck with. Anti-Semite of the week because they said free Palestine on Twitter. I'm pretty sure they went out of Reggie Zegler too, the, one of the actresses that played in Snow White. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they call her anti-Semite as well. Um, Let me see. It's bizarre that Tracy declines to identify the person behind the organization. Leona Vicino, aka Lerola Reyes, the founder of Stop Anti-Semitism. She spoke at the U.S. House Committee in 2024. Her main activity consists of brigading private citizens to try to get them fired from their jobs. Of course, right? Of course. So you get somebody fired from their job over free speech while she hides from her own identifying information. She has a focus on targeting any criticism of Israel, according to the Washington Post. Stop Anti-Semitism is supported in part by the Adams and Gala Melstein Family Foundation. Tracy refers to the organization, though not by name, as well as partially founded by the Mirona Leadership Foundation, which in 2022 tax filing reportedly paid Reyes $125,633 and gave her organization approximately $270,000. This public this publicly available information failed to make it into Tracy's report. So of course, somebody paid her to make this bullshit. Of course. Um, to make it abundantly clear, Reyes does not provide any evidence that Miss Rachel is funded by Hamas. That's crazy. Like, you can say anything and get away with it. Either on her own website or to Tracy. The reporter's manufacturing conflict primarily hinges on some Zionist crackpot with a Twitter account and an ongoing defamation lawsuit against her. So, of course, she on Twitter, right? Yeah, Twitter is the Zionist cesspool of the world, really. And yet she received the benefit of immunity as well as helpful ally. Ms. Rachel's activism has divided Jewish parents distraught by the relative dearth of posts by Israeli children, to whom many Jews worldwide would feel a powerful connection. Tracy wrote, "If I were this editor, I'll ask what this means, relative dearth, a powerful connection. This bitch dumb as hell, ain't she?" In this unique somehow, in another paragraph, Tracy wrote to Ms. Rachel she did not dispute what she has posted more frequently about Gazan children. Why would she dispute it? See, it shows you that these Zionist ghouls are some diabolical piece of crap buttholes, man. I'm telling you. Like, oh, you don't talk about the Israeli children enough. Oh, but you talk about those kids, they don't deserve to live. That's really how they feel. Like, these Zionists, like, the Zionist regime, man, like, they have no fucks to give. They have no fucks to give. That's how they feel. Because Miss Rachel sees with her own eyes. Like, Miss Rachel, everybody has a phone. Everybody sees an active genocide going on in 4K. Like, maybe she did cave under pressure and talked about the Israeli children, which, I mean, I have no problem with that. I mean, it is what it is, but I mean, it's not no big deal. My thing is, if you know what's going on, if you know, you know. Um, so I mean, yeah, I mean, like, stop anti-Semitism bullshit. Like, and one thing too, then I'm gonna move on. I thought Twitter, I remember Elon when he bought Twitter, he said he go get rid of all the bots and stuff. But ever since really October 7th, really, since the genocide ramped up even more, I just say that because genocide been going on before October 7th. But um, don't you notice, like, anybody that speaks out against Israel in the beginning, let's say, like, you notice they get flooded with a bunch of troll bots. So yeah, like, yeah, and yeah, so yeah, that's one way of getting rid of the bots on Elon. So keep speaking the truth, Miss Rachel. Don't let these fucking losers, man, these fucking tools, uh, deter you, because they want you to stop. See, if you stop, then they won't mess with you no more. Keep doing it. Ain't gonna lie. Like, I should never stop saying F Israel. I should have continued to did it because it makes them so mad. I guess to see a black guy that's not good looking do it, that really drives me crazy, which I don't really care. But anyway, all right, guys, on to the next story. All right, guys. So this is shocking, man. This is from last week because I'm always late to shit. It says conservatives block Trump agenda bill from advancing a major setback for GOP leaders. The House Budget Committee voted down the massive party line package, which is a crucial banner Republicans push for deeper spending cuts. I mean, I mean, yeah, like, I'm really shocked about this because you know, this spending bill include cutting $880 million, 80 billion, $880 billion in Medicaid. So, and a lot of these conservatives are in purple districts. That's my perspective on it. Like, hey, they don't want to lose their seat next year. So if you cut Medicaid and you're not in the safe district, you're gonna get fucked. So let me continue reading this. First of all, let me play this video right here. Then I'm gonna read the article. Let me see.
Committee. NBC's Sahil Kapoor is on Capitol Hill with the latest on that. Sahil, take us inside that Budget Committee hearing this morning. What happened, and did leadership expect this vote to fail?
No, they did not expect that, Gabe. It's a significant setback for Speaker Mike Johnson and for the Trump agenda. Essentially, what we saw is Republican leaders tried to call bluff on the hardliners, and the hardliners cast their votes, showed that they're not playing around in their demands. Specifically, 5 of the Republicans on that committee defected and voted with Democrats. That's Chip Roy, Ralph Norman, Josh Brecheen, Andrew Clyde. The 5th one, Lloyd Smucker, his was simply procedural so they can bring the bill up again. So the reality is there are 4 Republicans who are opposing this bill. Their beef is largely that the package, in their view, uses a bunch of budget gimmicks and procedural tricks to essentially front load the benefits and the goodies there while backloading the spending cuts and the challenging, the painful items. They insist that those cuts and savings be moved up faster in order to win their votes. Otherwise, they call the package swampy and very typical of what happens in Washington. Nevertheless, the House Budget Committee Chairman, Jody Arrington, decided to remain optimistic about the future of this, said there's some value in putting these members on the record so they can kind of have the clarity in terms of what they need to do next.
So basically, not only the Medicaid thing, but obviously they want more cuts. Hey, it's a lot of weird shit in the bill. Get that shit out. So, yeah. Let me continue, man. Holy shit.
Take a listen to some more of what Jody Arrington said.
Their hearts are in the right place. Their motives are pure. I share their convictions, and I share their desired outcomes of changing some of these policies and making the bill better. This is not the right venue to do it. That's what I told them. But they have to make those decisions themselves. But no regrets. We debate, we call questions because that's what leaders do. And I think we make progress today.
Now, it's notable that soon after that vote, the Freedom Caucus put out a tweet insisting that no, they're not actually taking down the Trump agenda. They just want a little more time. They just want a few more pieces of it to be negotiated. So they're leery of this idea that they're actually tanking the Donald Trump agenda, which is what gets us to Sunday evening when Jody Arrington and the Budget Committee plans to meet at 10 p.m., highly unusual, especially for Sunday, to do another vote at this.
And Sahil, you bring up not wanting to upset President Trump. How would that look like over the next couple of days? It feels like Republicans may be waiting for him to get directly involved like he has before. Is that what you're seeing?
Yeah, we should expect President Trump to get more involved here. He is the only one who can get 218 Republicans on the same page for something this challenging. It is his agenda at the end of the day. It's about many items that he campaigned on. And these hardliners, the reason Trump is so essential to this is that these hardliners who are holding out right now represent dark red districts where Trump is particularly popular, much more so than congressional Republican leadership. And a lot of these voters who support Trump want their members of Congress to toe the line on the Trump agenda, not to be obstacles, which is why some members of the Freedom Caucus are ultimately sensitive about this. So if they get some of what they want, such as moving the Medicaid work requirements up, I talked yesterday to House Majority Leader Steve Scalise. He said that date is going to move up from 2029. He didn't say when. So that's what they got to
See, that's what I thought too. I thought about that. I say, yeah, a lot of this shit has to do with Medicaid. Like, oh, we ain't gonna cut Medicaid. We're just gonna reform it to up the requirements. You gotta work. You gotta work to get Medicaid. Which I have a question. Like, so kids gotta work now? That's what I thought about. Like, kids are on Medicaid as well as the low-income adults. So yeah, they slick here. They're not really being out loud with it, saying that it's the Medicaid part of the bill, because I'm pretty sure the rest of it is what they want and what Trump wants. But yeah,
balance here, giving these hardliners some of what they want without alienating the swing district and centrist Republicans who are going to be key to whether they can hold the House majority. They're already feeling the heat on the Medicaid cuts. What they don't want is even more political pain in the near term.
And so we had some reporting yesterday of a potential deal between moderates who want an expanded SALT cap and hardliners that want the bill's cuts to come online sooner. What do we know about that?
That's right. And you just bring up the other big headache that Speaker Mike Johnson and Republican leaders have. There's a determined bloc of about half a dozen Republicans from high tax states, mostly New York, that are threatening to take down this entire bill over the state and local tax deduction, specifically, or known as SALT. Specifically, this $30,000 cap that's in the bill currently. They say that is not nearly good enough for them. So they want that cap expanded. And Speaker Johnson has said if that cap is expanded, that's going to cost money, which means they need more.
All right, y'all. Let me read the article now. I appreciate I got what they were talking about. It says the GOP-led House Budget Committee voted to reject a sweeping package for President Donald Trump's agenda on Friday, dealing with an embarrassing setback to Speaker Johnson and Republican leaders. The vote in the Budget Committee was 16-21, with a band of conservative hardliners who are pushing for steeper spending cuts joining all Democrats voting against the multi-trillion-dollar legislation, leaving its fate uncertain. It says the Republicans who voted no were Representative Chip Roy, Ralph Norman, Andrew Clyde, and Josh Brechen, and Representative Lord Smucker changed the vote from yes to no. He said as a procedural move to allow Republicans to call up the bill again. During this hearing, Roy fired a warning shot at Republican leaders, saying he opposes the bill as written because it will increase the deficit. No shit, Sherlock. I mean, the deficit is just really the deficit is really a scare tactic. Like, ain't the United States? Don't we have a sovereign currency? The deficit, the spending deficit, is the money that moves around through the government around the country. It's not like you in debt. Like you and I in debt. Um, Let me continue. It says the bill has backloaded savings and it has front-loaded spending. Roy added, I'm a no on this bill unless some serious reforms, keyword reforms, are made today, tomorrow, Sunday. Something needs to change or you're not going to get my support. After the vote tally was read, Representative Jody Arlington, the committee chair, adjourned the hearing and told members they will not be meeting again this weekend. It's like the last day of third grade. We get to get home. We get to go home. Oh God, Representative Glenn Gortman quipped after the hearing, but he predicted the bill would eventually pass. It's hard to pass. Negotiations with the GOP holdouts will continue in the coming days. The House Budget Committee announced it would reconvene to take up the bill again on Sunday at 10 o'clock. That was yesterday. You never know until you call the question where people stand, which is the reason I call for a vote. You can't accomplish anything in life without having deadlines and decisions. Arlington told reporters afterward today was a deadline and a decision, and one of the decision points to get us to the successful passage of the reconciliation bill. Friday's delay means it will now be more difficult for Johnson to meet his self-imposed Memorial Day deadline to pass what Trump has called the big beautiful bill to send it to the Senate. It says, well, Smirker told reporters he hoped the legislation get passed committee by Monday, which will keep the House on track to approve the measure by the end of next week. So we're working through some remaining issues here. There are just a few outstanding issues. I think everyone will get to yes. Sorry about that, y'all. Fuck. Well, so we're working through some. Yeah, okay. In a post on X, the Freedom Caucus said its members will work through the weekend to reach a deal to pass the package. Representative Roy, Norman, Breach, and Clyde, and others continue to work in good faith to enact the president's big beautiful bill. We were making Congress progress before the vote in the Budget Committee, and will continue negotiations to further improve the reconciliation package. The post from the Freedom Caucus account said, we are not going anywhere when we will continue to work through the weekend. The failed vote came just hours after Trump took the Truth Social to admonish GOP grandstanders and urged Republicans to get behind the bill. Republicans must unite behind the one big beautiful bill. We don't need grandstanders in the Republican Party. Stop talking and get it done, he added. so yeah, man. I think the real big issue here is they really won't say it is the Medicare part. Like they know that if this bill passed, that a lot of people will get fucked over. Like a lot of your constituents, because most Republicans aren't ready most of their constituents are in red states, and they have to rely on Medicaid. You cut that, and like yeah, you're gonna suffer dire consequences. So they trying to reframe it, But I mean, either way, in that like Medicaid is gonna get cut. Either way, it might be directly or indirectly. We don't know. So yeah, man. Um, I'm done with that. I got one more segment for y'all. Here we go. All right, guys. So the last segment here, this is gonna be about Jank Huger and Jordan Ewell talking about right wingers, working with right wingers, and as it says, um, what it says here, um, corruption with about with change strategy on Gaza. That's the what it says. Um, I got 4 videos for y'all to play, and I'm gonna break it down. Like, yeah, Jack he still doesn't get it, man. One instance, but I'm gonna play it. Here's part 1.
Do you see that encouraging him to do the right thing, especially encouraging the right wing to push him to do the right thing, might be the right strategy?
I don't have faith in them doing that. Like you just laid out, all of the opposition to this plane is rooted in Islamophobia. Much of it, to be fair. Why would they suddenly take a different tact here? I think what we have seen, especially from the right on foreign policy, going back to the Gulf days, if you want to be accurate, but largely from the war on terror on, it is a jingoistic foreign policy, and that's going to extend to Palestinians as well. So I just am not holding my breath. I mean, sure, I guess I'll encourage you, do the right thing, but like, I feel like it's falling on deaf ears.
But
They've shown
Jordan,
what
how
they
can you
want.
say it's falling on deaf ears? Joe Rogan's talking about it. Like, I'm not just talking about Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, and the far right. Rogan, Theo Vaughn.
Oh God, Shank. Shank think because right-wing pundits are talking about it, then it will move on, make change. I mean, like, dude. Oh God! Like we know what Trump's strategy on Gaza. He wants to turn Gaza into a resort, bro. Beachfront property. Like that's what Trump wants. So how is this strategy going to get Palestinian liberation? What? I mean, this is what I'm getting from this. Oh God, let me continue.
He's an anti-Semite. Like Tucker Carlson is a straight-up anti-Semite. The reason he's taking that position is because he's an anti-Semite. He is a white nationalist.
Like,
that's why
no, Jordan, I'm being serious. Hold on. If he's an anti-Semite and that's our speculation, okay, that's terrible, and I'm going to deal with that later. But are you trying to discourage him from, like?
I'm not trying to discourage him. I'm not saying he's going to be an effective messenger to persuade Trump.
Of course he is. Who would be an effective messenger? How? A Democrat? That doesn't make any sense, Jordan.
Man, Jack is so awesome. Nobody is going to persuade Trump to do right on nothing. What? Like, Trump put his yes men and yes women in his cabinet. Like, that's why he did that. So they won't tell him no. Or they won't tell him to do it this way. Like, what? What are you talking about, bro?
Of course, Tucker Carlson and Marjorie Taylor Greene are much more likely to persuade Donald Trump than we are. Isn't that the most obvious thing in the world?
No, I'm not saying any of us are going to. He's going to listen to the most powerful in the world. He's going to listen to the military-industrial complex. That is who will reign.
Exactly. And I'm not really a big Jordan Ewell person, but I agree. Like, he's not gonna listen at no fucking like podcasters, bro. Like Trump listen at people that gives him money. Like oh God, Jack is all over the place. One minute, we gotta talk to the right wing. Next minute, I'm gonna make a populist grifting, pack, rebellion pack, whatever the fuck it's called. Like this man don't know what the fuck you want to do from 1 minute to the next. So like obviously TYT is drowning. Like, I mean, they did it to themselves. If they move more to the left, since the Biden, since what 4 or 5 years ago, it'd probably be in a different time. But let me continue.
Supreme here. And if Israel wants weapons and they want to continue that cash flow, they're going to have more influence than podcaster Tucker Carlson. It boils down to money. The only reason he's saying that is because he is a white nationalist. You look at his comments on people in the Middle East going back to the 2000s. He sees them as subhuman. Like, there are many comments that he made on that shock jock shit.
Who cares? I mean, they're like a racist. They're like Jack said. I should work with a racist that hate black people, and they call us, barbaric stuff. I'm not going to work with them, bro. Like, you can. Like, I'm not. Here's part 2, man.
Hold on.
I want to lift him up.
Jordan, let me. No. I'm
him
really
up
mad
because
about
he's
this.
a racist.
Hold on.
I want to lift him up. There are plenty.
No. Stop with that nonsense, Jordan. Hold on. Listen.
How is it nonsense?
Okay, here's why. Because you are the people who are saying that, yes, including you. You're being intensely selfish. Let me explain. So Tucker Carlson said we shouldn't go into Iraq after he originally was in favor of it, but after the war started, he said, we shouldn't be there, and I don't want to deal with these monkeys. Now he's talking about Muslims. That's my people. Okay. So am I in favor of that? No, absolutely not. So I could choose to do one of two things. If we were back in that time, I could either encourage the Tucker Carlson.
So you saying that, I have to make a compromise, even though Tucker Carlson said that racist shit. I have to work with him to get things done. Don't you just hear yourself, Jake? Well, I'll let it continue, man. Let me let it continue.
Wing of the party to get out of Iraq, which would have saved hundreds of thousands of lives. Or I could say, I am morally pure. He was Islamophobic. I banish him and I cancel him. And it's better that I cancel him because of my feelings than we save hundreds of thousands of lives in Iraq.
Now, if a motherfucker say they wrong for that, then maybe I don't know, talk cheap. But anyway, in that, man, I'm not working with a racist. I'm not working with a Zionist. I'm not working with those people. Like, you do it, like that's the way you think things should go. Like, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Okay, but like this is wrongful thinking here. It don't make any sense. So like working with a Ku Klux Klan person. Oh my God, bro! I just can't, man.
That's intensely selfish. Let it go. Yeah, okay, I don't know what his intentions are, and I don't give a goddamn what his intentions are. You've got to get the right wing. I'm not saying that it's going to be easy, Jordan. I'm not saying, I'm not naive. It's not like I don't know. I've been railing against the power of the Israeli lobby and the military industrial complex. But if we just go, oh, nope, I don't want any allies. I don't want allies from the people who are in charge now. How could you not see that that's maniacal and intensely selfish?
Because they're not our allies. When have they ever shown to be an ally?
Right now. They're saying.
No, they're not. They haven't done anything.
Jordan, what the hell do you want him to do? Marjorie Taylor Greene says, I don't want to give any more money.
Because he says one thing, you're like, oh, let's listen to him. He hasn't done anything.
Wow, because, yeah, like Charlie Kirk, for example. Like, Charlie Kirk is a white nationalist. Definitely a person I would not work with to get things done. Like, he don't like me. You're a white nationalist. You don't like people like me. Like, we're below, we beneath you. We ain't shit, So, because Charlie Kirk, for example, says that we should get private equity out of homes and shit like that, which is a good thing. Like, yeah, I agree with it. So that makes him like, oh yeah, we should work with him. No, bro, it don't work like that. It just don't work like that. Part 3, Poe Jordan Ewell, man. Like, Jank just, I don't know, man.
Jordan,
I don't know what Jank's problem, man.
Jordan, I'm not saying go vote for Trump. I'm not saying go support Trump. I'm saying push Trump to do the right thing. But you say no. You say no. You say no. You're letting the Palestinians die because of your selfishness. It drives me crazy.
Jake, I have an award for running a.
How is Jordan Ewell making Palestinians die? What? What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Jordan Ewell, he supports Palestine. Yeah, anybody that supports Palestine, you on my side. But most likely the people that are on my side are not white supremacists or white nationalists, or say things like call Muslims monkeys and stuff, and call black folks that too as well, right? Like Jordan, you saying the same thing I'm saying about in terms to Palestine, like Palestine should be free, liberation, like, but because he don't want to work with extreme right wingers that are racist, he's contributed to them getting killed. Man, if I was there, it'd be a blood vessel will pop. I swear.
Ceasefire website that millions of people around the world have used. You're calling me selfish?
Yes, I am. Jordan, you've done.
Because I don't inherently believe one thing that Trump said on camera.
No, it's not about believing, Jordan. It's not about believing. So, first of all, Jordan, you have been freaking amazing on this issue. You've been one of the best people in the country on this issue. And
He's been amazing. He's been amazing, but he's contributing to Palestinians getting killed. Okay. That makes total sense.
Love you for it. Okay? But I'm not asking you to be naive and go, oh, I just trust Trump on everything now. I'm asking you to be political and strategic and your normal, incredibly smart self and go, when the right wing comes to our side, we're not going to their side. When they come to our side, whether it's Tucker Carlson or, goddamn it, Joe Rogan, when they're all coming to our side, don't tell them, I don't want you. You're an anti-Semite. You're a white nationalist. I don't want you, and I don't believe you. Take yes for an answer. For God's sake, for the Palestinians' sake, Jordan, you've been amazing on this. Please take yes for an answer.
When he does something.
No, we got to push him to do it, Jordan.
Oh, Lord. It's one more. Here we go.
Decides to do it or not do it. By the time he decides to do it or not do it, it's too late. If you just sit back and go, oh, I'm not going to help the right who wants to stop the funding to Israel, the right who wants to stop the ceasefire, etc. I don't believe them. They're all racist. I don't believe them. I'm not going to help them. Okay. Oh, oops. They didn't have enough power because calling Tucker. It's too late. If you just sit back and go, oh, I'm not going to help the right who wants to stop the funding to Israel, the right who wants to stop the ceasefire, etc. I don't believe them. They're all racist. I don't believe them. I'm not going to help them. Okay, oh, oops, they didn't have enough power because they had no allies on our side. They had no allies anywhere else. And so we gave up. We sat on our hands and we were losers and we were pessimistic and we gave up on the Palestinians.
Why is he sweating so profusely though? Like that just, God damn, Jank. Man, dude, like damn, like the Poly Market Studio, like you didn't pay your, like you didn't get your AC fixed or what? Like they didn't come with air conditioning or what? Like holy shit, like this man just wow, he sweat harder than I do when I be working out. Holy hell, jeez.
People, we just gave up on them because calling Tucker Carlson an anti-Semite was more important to us than saving Palestinian lives. That's my opinion. I can't stand it. I think you're dead wrong on it. I love you. You've been wonderful on this issue.
Okay, let's say if Tucker Carlson is actually saying that Palestinians shouldn't be murdered. But my thing is this, like people could change. I'm not saying that none of these people that he mentioned could change their ways or things they said. Like people say stupid shit all the time. Like it's just the way the world is. But like I gotta literally hear you say like, yeah, I was wrong for calling Muslims monkeys. I was wrong for saying this about immigrants. Like Tucker Carlson also said racist shit about immigrants too coming over to this country too. Like I don't forget he was on Fox News at the time. Let's not forget about that. Like until I see and actually see you change, I ain't gonna believe it. Like just like Marjorie Taylor Greene, like she says the right thing sometimes. Then you say all that to say I love Israel. I'm a Christian. Like no, like you can say right things don't mean you're correct, Jake.
But no, when the other side comes to us on a super important issue where lives are on the line, I don't care about what their past is. And oh, they said the wrong word once. Oh, what do they think about trans people? Are you kidding me? Let's go save some lives. Let's save some lives. We're not in charge. We're not in charge. They're in charge.
Damn, Jake. Jeez, man. Why you so angry? Jordan, you chilling. Yeah, Jordan, you like this. He like this. Yeah. Jordan, you like, shit, man, I'm just chilling. Cut, He got a little heated, but he calmed down. This guy here. Damn, y'all need some AC in that mug. Jeez.
And when they say, yes, we agree with the left, yes, we agree with Palestinians, the correct answer definitively, inarguably, is yes. Thank you for coming to our side. We will take yes for an answer. Young Turks.
So yeah, y'all, that was Cenk Uygur and Jordan Ewell going at it. I'm on Jordan's side. To me, I'm gonna just say this and I'm gonna move on. Talk is cheap as hell. I mean, like Cenk, he want the right and the left to hold hands and sing kumbaya. Like, I have no problem with right wingers, the non-racist right wingers. There's a lot of people that's on the right. They are probably good people. I never, even back in 2016, I never said that all right wingers are racist, all right wingers are neo Nazis. I never said that. Even when I voted for Hillary Clinton back then, I was starting to evolve into what I am now. But Cenk thing is that Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens and all and Joe Rogan has influence over Trump. Like, yeah, like they really don't. Like Trump wants you to bootlick him. Like he don't want you to tell him what to do. You see what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, man, Cenk is deeply unserious. So yeah, I got one more story for y'all to share. All right, guys, one last story for you guys here. Um, shout out to China, man. I think a few days ago, China dropped some aid over Gaza, and give it to China. They're doing way more humanitarian help than what the United States doing. The United States, remember they built that port, but turns out the port was just to commit more genocide. So yeah. Um, this is from the Global Times. It says China urges Israel to immediately cease military attacks on Gaza, according to the Chinese envoy. Um, uh, so I guess this is the humanitarian situation in Gaza by Ambassador Fu Kong at the UN Security Council briefing. Um, I'm not gonna read all that, but pause. You can pause it and read it yourself. So here it is. Um, it says we call on the international community to pull off all efforts and take urgent actions to bring an end to the humanitarian tragedy in Gaza," said Fu Kong, Chinese permanent representative to the UN. At the UN Security Council briefing on the humanitarian situation in Gaza on Tuesday, according to the permanent mission of China up to the UN, no aid has entered Gaza for more than 10 weeks, and every single one of the 2.1 million people there faces famine conditions, the UN Emergency Relief Coordinator Tom Fletcher said on Tuesday at the briefing to the UN Security Council in New York, according to the UN. Let me say this. You like, I mean, I can really go far and yell at the UN. Like, if you see what's going on, then why you're not doing any action? But again, it's like maybe they are, but I'm just questioning things. I know I could be more hawkish on this situation, but Israel blow up humanitarian aid vehicles. Like, oh, jeez. It's more they can do though. I get that. Um, It says Gaza has become a living hell. Israel's continuous bombing and rage are causing civilian casualties every day. On May 7th alone, There were more than 100 lives lost over the 2-month plus blockade. Gaza survival supplies are depleted, Fu said. It is imperative to resume humanitarian assistance. Israel must fulfill its obligations as the occupying power under international humanitarian law by immediately lifting blockade and restoring full access to supplies. Recently, a certain country has proposed to do so, the so-called humanitarian distribution plan. We have noted that the UN had categorically rejected the so-called plan. Humanitarian assistance must not be weaponized, and the principles of impartiality, independence, and neutrality must be a help to all times, said Fu. It says the realization of a doable ceasefire is a top priority. Military means will not solve the problem. Prolonging the fight will only lead to more killings and deaths. I mean, I'm sorry, they're like, yeah, that's what Israel wants to do. They want to wipe out an entire generation of people. Like that's why they haven't brought in aid, haven't let aid come in to Gaza for 10 weeks, and people drinking mud water and eating hard pasta and stuff like that. Like, yeah, it's diabolical, man. Um, it says China urges Israel to immediately cease its military attacks on Gaza. On Monday, American hostage was released and returned home, which we welcome, and we hope that the U.S. As a U.S. as a country with significant influence on the party concerned, will uphold a fair and responsible attitude and contribute to efforts that will bring about a ceasefire in Gaza. I mean, that little measly really wasn't a ceasefire to begin with. I mean, Israel still doing attacks on the Palestinians, but I mean, even that was a fluke, to be honest with you. Um, I mean, and a ceasefire should lead to Palestine being should lead to a one-state solution. I mean, I mean, I mean, we way past the two-state solution crap. That's crazy. Like, um, people occupy land, claim it's theirs because that's they the chosen people, and then all of a sudden, like, then you negotiate them to be a two-state solution. Like, that's still crazy to me, but. It says the implementation of the two-state solution is the only way forward. The international community should collectively reject any unilateral actions that erode the basis of the two-state solution and step up to its efforts to provide support and guarantees for the political process of the two-state solution, as mandated by the G8 resolution. A high-level conference on the two-state solution will be held in June. Um, it is hoped that the meeting will give further impetus on a building a broad consensus of the international community and taking practical actions for the implementation of the two-state solution. I disagree with that. That's the only thing I disagree with China on. China is for a two-state solution. I mean, I've been hearing this for a while now, but yeah, I disagree. Two-state solution is, yeah, we way surpassed that. Um, but I'll give credit to China when it's due. They at least they're trying. They see what's going on. They see what's going on is fucked up. So hey, hey, it is what it is. It says China will continue to work with the international community to take on our unremitting efforts to end the war in Gaza, uninvade the humanitarian disaster, implement the two-state solution, and ultimately achieve a comprehensive, just, lasting settlement of the question of Palestine. Said Food. So I'm gonna end it right there. I mean, y'all get it. I mean, yeah, like I said, it'd be something if China will be able to, like, stop Israel from doing what it's doing to the Palestinian people. That would be wonderful. I think the United States, they're not gonna do anything like that. They like, that's why it's called the United States of Israel, really. But to be honest with you, somebody really said this, and it's true. It's like the United States actually control Israel because, like, without the United States, Israel would not have the bombs necessary to do harm to people. So yeah. So all right, guys, that was the show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I surely have. Like I always say, this show is my therapy. So I'm glad I'm able to do this a lot. While the others are trying to get their situations together, and hopefully in the future, we can finally have a network again where everybody plays a part in it. But stuff happens. Nothing is guaranteed. Things happen for a reason. So On the bottom of your ticker, follow the ATP Network's official X account. The handle for that is at ATP Network 247. Be sure to like the video. It's free. It don't cost you a damn thing. It goes a long way. Thank you to all the guys that watched our stuff, watched our clips. Watched our election day coverage. That's from last year, but um, wow. I remember one of our election streams. We got like what 300 or 400 views on YouTube alone. So that's amazing. Then we had 1,000 on Twitter. Like, man, I think that was the debate between Trump and Harris, the only debate. So thank you guys so much, because when you like the video, we get traction. So, and also to go to GazaFunds.com. If you don't know what Gaza Funds is, it's a platform where Palestinians in Gaza ask for help through GoFundMe, SpotFund, or whatever other platform, crowdfunding platform that is. Any amount helps. It goes a long way. It yeah. Sorry about that, y'all. And yeah, so yeah, Gaza Funds, like anything helps. And also share it on your Twitter platform or Facebook or Instagram or whatever you got, man. Like, anything helps, guys. Like, because you might not have nothing to give at the moment, don't mean that you can't help. Like, I think that's just instilled in us. Like, if we ain't got no means of money, we can't really do nothing. But it ain't always about the money. It's about, do you actually give a damn? That's all. That's all it's about. So yeah, yeah, man. Wow, man. Like, today is a good day though. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Like, Joe Biden, is just one example of a war criminal that got what he deserves. Um, I'm pretty sure a lot of people on Twitter saying that, oh, how would you feel if your family had cancer and people were laughing at you? Well, my mom had it, my auntie had it, my dad had it, my grandma had it. Like, yeah, but the only difference is that our family is not war criminals. I mean, they're liberals, but they're not war criminals. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about that, man. If you experience any interruptions, living with people is not easy. So that's why I can't wait to move out of here and move to another state next month. I'm so happy I can live by myself. But anyway, that's it for the Good Faith Show. I'm Andre Morton signing out. And oh yeah, before I go, I always do this. Fuck Benjamin Netanyahu.